Hey everyone, I'm Nick.
I'm Vic.
And we're Envy Board Gaming continuing our top 100 games, top 50 games. We are into the top 30. We're doing 30 through 21. And we hope you joined us for the past videos, but if not, welcome to the channel. And we are going to go ahead and get started. What's your number 30, Vic?
Number 30 for me is a game that you've already mentioned so far. We played this only really 1 or 2 times, so we haven't played it that many times. We had a lot of fun playing it in San Antonio. You learned it on the fly. It's Watergate. Some people don't enjoy this game because of the theme, but we really enjoyed it. And for us, we don't get too absorbed in themes of games. And I just had a lot of fun with this 2-player only sort of tug of war, I guess is the word, where you're just kind of pushing and pulling, and you're seeing what the opponent is doing and trying to counter it with the cards you have, and just a lot of fun. And I like how you have asymmetrical goals.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people are very theme focused, and a lot of people aren't. It is interesting because people decide what games they're going to play based on theme. We can easily recommend a game based on a theme, or like, do you care about themes? Because if you don't, then you'll be fine with this game, and if you do, then this game probably isn't for you.
Yeah.
So I have a couple on my list, so it's like I'll ask that question first. Like, what do you think about that theme?
Yeah, that makes sense. All
right, number 30 for me is a game has not been mentioned by you. I believe Andrew put this on his list so far. It is Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan is, and a lot of people stumble over that. I think that's actually how you pronounce the city. So Teotihuacan is how you pronounce it. Heavy game, worker movement around, doing all these things. You're paying the cocoa or whatever that is, the currency. You're triggering off. It's fairly heavy. It's involved. There's a lot of things, a lot of steps. When you're doing actions, a few things happen in those actions. You have to be aware of that. Contributing to this pyramid, doing the Walk of the Dead. What is that thing? There's another path for the Path of the Dead or something. Moving up all these different tracks, contributing different decorations to the pyramid, doing all kinds of different things.
The dice spinning up. Whoa.
Yeah, the dice will spin up. They'll retire, and you'll have to trigger off different actions with those. They'll ascend, I believe they call it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a heavier game. Very spanning. Table hog. A lot of things going on. Good expansion that we have. We have 1 or 2 expansions, prehistoric, and I'm not sure if we have another one too. That just add more things if you're already loving the game, which we are. And that is my number 30, Teotihuacan.
So that's really funny that you picked Teotihuacan as your number 30 because it's my number 29. Yeah, number 29 for me is Teotihuacan. Have a lot of fun with the dice. I like all the colors of the dice. I like the way that, as Nick mentioned, all the different modules that you're aiming for, deciding different strategies when you're playing. So there's a lot of different ways to go about the game. There's not like one set way or one thing you must do to win the game, and I like that. And I think Nick has mentioned this in our other videos, but when it's nice when you're playing a game and there isn't just one clear thing that you can memorize and, all right, this is what I got to do when I play this game.
Yeah. Almost like a prerequisite to winning.
Yeah,
you have
exactly.
To do this. If you want any chance, you have to do this. I don't see that too often in Teotihuacan. So yeah, I think so. There's different ways.
Yeah.
All right, and that moves to 29.
Yes, 29 for you.
Is going to be a game that we both love too, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is coming up on yours. It's a cooperative game with a hidden traitor.
Oh, yeah.
Shadows over Camelot. Excellent game. Hard to find now. I'm sorry if you don't have it already, but hopefully you can try it at a convention if you don't own it already, see how you like it. But a lot of people have already tried this game, and they either love it or they've played it to death and they don't really care about it anymore. We don't fit in that category. We've played it probably 5 times or so. We tend to space games out, so we don't get burned out on it. Some of our favorite games, we don't bust it out at all the time. We kind of let it sit, let it rest, and bring it out months later, perhaps even a whole year later. This one's one of those where it just kind of sits, but when we play it, we have so much fun. We can even do it with moderately new gamers.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, yeah.
So it's a really good game for that. People will not have, if they're new to the gaming, they're not going to have seen a game like this at all. They've never even heard of a game with a hidden traitor like that. Wouldn't think it would work, and it does. It works really great, and fairly easy to teach. So Shadows over Camelot is my number 29.
It's a good pick. So for me, 28 is going to be a game that Nick has mentioned before as well. Not in this video, though, in previous videos. And it is Yokohama. This game, again, another really fun map. It takes up a bit of space. Not too much of a hog, but like a mini hog. But I like the president's movements. I like how you're moving around that bigger pawn and kind of determining what spaces you can go to, because you need to be kind of connected to it, be able to get to it. So that's going to drive the decisions you make. You know, aesthetically, is it the best looking game, or does it have the best appearance? No. And the theme, I don't know. I'm not too aware of what that theme is, or if it's Japanese economy, just running the Japanese economy. But
Sure.
I like the technology. I just enjoy the game a lot, as you'd imagine. It's in my list here. And it was fun to play with it, that game with Nick. We learned it on the fly at a gaming cafe in Chicago. And anytime we can learn something like that really quick, it's always great.
Yeah.
And then we picked it up at home and we played it. Never played it with more than 2, though.
No, that's on our to-do list. I think I mentioned that to someone too on one of our previous videos.
Yeah?
Like when somebody mentioned it, like how you like Yokohama, I said, I gotta play that more than 2. I just gotta take that more than 2. Good pick. Love that game. That was my number 42, so really high up as well. All right, number 28 is a game that we did not really have to learn much because we already knew the predecessor. We picked it up, played it for a bit on our honeymoon, actually, at night when we were in a hotel. We played it on the bed. Giggity. It is The Crew.
The Crew.
The Crew.
Oh, the
one
Crew.
Mission Deep Sea.
Oh.
So that is my 28.
Okay.
This is one I can easily recommend if you like trick-taking games. If you don't like trick-taking games, then I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. That's the whole crux of it. It's a trick-taking game that changes every time you play it. It's fantastic if you like trick-taking. I grew up loving spades and hearts, which I really love spades. Spades is awesome. It's one of my favorite card games, if not my favorite card game. Spades is great. So naturally, I'm going to like a trick-taking game that adds a little different flavor every single time you play it. So if that's up your alley, if you like those kind of games, you got to try The Crew. And get the new one because it just changes things up. So that's my number 28.
Yeah, he had to give me like a crash course on trick-taking games. I never really understood them. We would try to play like Hearts online. Nick and I had a long-distance thing going for quite a while with the cross-country relationship that we had. So we'd always be trying to find different online games and never really caught on to the trick-taking until we had a chance to play The Crew
The original,
and The Fox in the Forest.
Yeah.
That one helped as well with learning the trick-taking. So it's a good
Yeah.
one to teach someone who struggles with that kind of thing. So 27 for me is a game, another one that we sort of learned on the fly, but we had the chance to actually have somebody demo the game for us, and it was on the Dice Tower Cruise of 2020. So it was a game that we learned immediately when we walked by it. It looked really nice, and it has a beautiful presence on the table, and it's Aquatica and its expansion. I do enjoy playing with the expansion that it comes with, that Nick had to procure.
Yeah.
But just beautiful little stingrays. They're nice component quality. The game is fun. It changes up. The objectives change up, so you're not always constantly playing the same game, going for the same objectives. And I like that you're kind of building a deck of characters that you can deploy, and there's some take that, but it's not brutal things that you can do to each other. There's like very minimal little interactions you can have. But overall, it's just fun to decide on what you want to, if you're going to go to construct a building and building the sets out. I like the recessed boards as well. That has a nice presence on it too. And yeah.
Yeah.
Aquatica.
Now think about it, those boards are nice.
Yeah.
Like you slide cards underneath.
Yeah.
And the objectives you mentioned, that really gets ramped up a little bit more with the expansion too. So if you are bored and you have the base game, maybe try the expansion. All right, we are on my 27. My 27 is a cooperative game, one of my favorite cooperative games. If not, you'll have to stay tuned if it is. My number 27 is Mansions of Madness.
Woo.
Mansions of Madness is fantastic, a little pricey. Maybe the price point deters you a little bit. I think you can get it anywhere. I don't know what the market is on it. When I first got it, it was somewhere between 80 and 100, somewhere in that range to get that game. But you get a lot of stuff. You can get expansions that add different stories. We don't play it very much because you have to put a time investment in some of those stories. We don't get to bring it to the table too often. But when we do, we have such a blast. We set aside a day pretty much to play a few scenarios and just have really good fun. And it's better for me. It's better than Eldritch Horror, which is similar but a wider scope of the whole world. This is like you're in this little area trying to figure out. You don't even know the objective entirely at the beginning of the maps. Usually, you figure it out as you're going. Like, oh, okay, this is what we have to do. And also when you play it again, if you're going to do the same scenario, things change. It's not the same game. So Mansions of Madness, if you're into a horror theme and you want to be cooperative interesting. Cthulhu Mythos, maybe you're tired of that, but Mansion Madness is so good.
Yeah, we're due for a gaming session with that
Mansions,
game.
yeah.
Yep. It's been a while. So 26 for me is a game Nick has mentioned in previous videos. It's a bit of a drier Euro game, but it has a cute little green apple. And it's called Newton. And you also have the expansion, right? Or is that Lorenzo?
Great Discoveries is like a little pack.
Okay.
It's like, it's not readily available. It's hard to get, but we like the game so much that we got Great Discoveries. It's a small little pack. It won't come in like clean packaging.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of fun with it. It's decisions you need to make about how you're going to stack up your actions. You're thinking about which boards are you going to focus on. Are you going to work a lot? Are you going to do the technology tree or travel around the map? Or, oh my goodness, so many things you can decide on if you want to build up your deck of cards that you're going to have for choices, and look at the bottom part and decide if you want to tuck it away at the end of each round on the cards. Oh my goodness, just it feels like you're constantly making meaningful decisions. And some of the games we played have been very tight. When we play that game, I feel like we're not always too far apart with our scoring on it.
I think the last game we played, I may have blown you out. So I was like, is this going to drop for you?
Oh, I canceled that out of my memory.
Oh, good,
so
good. So,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that game is really good because you have to, when you're getting those cards, you have to think there's two uses. There's the top part, which gives you the instant action or an instant symbol, and then the bottom part, which is the action you're actually going to perform. So you're deciding which ones do I want the automatic actions for when you're in the market, and which ones do I need the actual action for to do, want that card to trigger. So it's kind of...
And even the images on the books, on the cards, like the books that are showing, if it meets a prerequisite of something else you're trying to complete. Like, oh my God, there's so many layers of things that you need to consider.
And the actions are all gratifying, except for the work action, which kind of just feels like a necessity.
Give me
at
a
some
buck.
points.
Yeah.
Give me some money. Okay, good pick.
Yep. 26 for you.
26 for me is a game that Andrew predicted would be higher on my list. It's a pencil first game. It is Skull Hollow, one of my favorite two-player only games that there is. It is so good. I love Skull Hollow, and apparently they're coming out with another version that Andrew let me know when we did our video, that are like underrated type games. That was my number one, I think. It was my number one. I don't know. I don't think it was underappreciated. I don't think it worked up to our number one, but it was mine. Skull Hollow, just if you're just playing a two-player game, you got to pick this up. You got to at least try it. It's such a good game where you're trying to hop on. Your opponent is a bad guy, or you, or whichever you're going to do.
The heroes are
the bad other monsters. There's different monsters out there. They're all going to play different, have their own set of cards, do different things. You're trying to jump on them and disable different things on the monster.
parts of them, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool and clever. And you think like, okay, how am I gonna? You're thinking how we can make this game better. There were ways, like I was so nitpicking in our review. I was like, how are we going to improve this? And I was thinking maybe give more health options. But then I was like, oh, but you can work through your deck so quick, doing different things. Maybe that's not even a bad thing. Like this was designed so well. I love it as a two-player game. So definitely check it out if you play a lot of two-player only games. And this is like cream of the crop for me.
It's a good game, that's for sure. All right, 25 on this list for me is Heaven and Ale, another game that Nick has mentioned. It's higher up for him. Now, when you say higher up, you're talking about ranked lower?
Yeah, I guess you can
ranked
say
higher.
It's just say previous. It was previously mentioned. It was my number 76.
Yeah, I knew it was high up for you. But yeah, Heaven and Ale has very interesting things to consider. Again, I love these interesting decisions. You need to decide how you're going to allocate the pieces that you're going around. You can't go back. However far you go, you're going to end up giving up opportunities for your opponent to purchase pieces or to put them on their board. So it's, you really have to think about the value of the pieces you're getting on the tiles on your board, where you're putting them, and the money is so tight. And it's just very interesting. There's objectives. You're fulfilling the same objectives, so it doesn't change. You have the chance to, claim a barrel. But it's like a race to get that bigger reward and be the first one to achieve that, which we have a lot of fun doing, and deciding if you're going to use vouchers for special bonuses or get money for a temporary boost in income so you can get things done. Yeah, very cool game. Heaven and Ale.
Heaven and Ale. All right, so we're on my 25. 25 is a game that would probably be in a lot of people's top 10s. I believe it should be coming up on yours. We'll see. It might be on this list. This is about where I thought. If I did a crossover, this was one that I thought might be a crossover here too. It is an adorable game that we first learned on the Dice Tower Cruise and has only gotten better for us. It is Everdell. Everdell, another wonderful game to introduce to people. I wouldn't say it's a lightweight game, but it might look like one because of all the cute critters and stuff. And this big tree that is totally useless, but you can just put it out just to look nice.
Yeah.
I guess that is its use, just to look nice. But you can put your animals on there, and you actually get more workers or animals as the seasons go. And it's also nice that as you pass seasons, you don't have to wait for somebody to finish a season. You can continue going, just that the game moves at a nice clip. You go ahead and you do your actions. Some of them can be very simple. Put a worker out, get some berries. Some of them can be more complex. You put it on your card, do something, or you achieve an objective and do something. Yeah, you're just trying to get the most coins in that game. Everything's going to give you different coins. Trying to put out these cards that give you coins. They're matching pairs that can help you. There are different objectives every single time you play. There's good expansions. There's very expandable game. We use Belfair every time we play now. And yeah, Everdell, if you haven't heard about it, you probably aren't into the hobby as much because it is a very popular game at this point in board game history.
Yeah, I love the concept of pairing animals with their habitats and putting them in.
I do too.
I like that. And then not knowing what's been discarded. So you're waiting and hoping that you're going to get...
There's something about that.
Yeah.
There's something about that that is interesting. Just like you're looking for this pair or you're looking for this combo of an objective.
Yeah.
There's something gratifying that in my monkey brain that I just think that's cool.
I agree. All right, so 24 for me is a game that we played a lot of this past week. Had my family visiting us. We tend to go for some lighter games because they're not really into the hobby too much. They don't play too many games, so we don't want to, kind of burden them with heavier games. So we play these easier ones, and it's such a great game. And Andrew and Sam mentioned it on the relaxing game list. We really enjoy playing it. It's beautiful. We play it with a lot of different families. It is Cascadia. Tile placement game, have to rank it so high. Despite its simplicity, I just really enjoy how different it is each time you play. I always look at the different scoring objectives. It changes up. I mean, they don't change too much, but it's always different every time you play. It'll be a different arrangement. It's fun to get that perfect landscape that you're trying to match those territory tiles, but then you also want to be able to match the criteria for scoring the animals. So it's a fine balance that you have to strike, and I enjoy playing Cascadia.
If you had to guess right now, do you think this game would go up next year or down?
Cascadia?
Yeah, do you think it's going to improve or it's going to decline? If you had to guess
it may
right now.
decline.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking
What
too.
are you thinking?
I'm thinking that.
Yeah, I think
I'm
we're
thinking
hot
the
on it.
replayability might fall because we play it so much.
Yeah.
We played it quite a few times now, like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to hold up
I
because
was
the
thinking
games
that.
start to feel a little similar. But anyone that hasn't played it, I do want to introduce it to them and show
Yeah,
them.
so it'll get plays, I think, by
Pretty much.
virtue of that.
Yeah, every single group I play with, I want to at least show them the game. Okay, number 24 for me is a dinosaur game called Dinosaur Island. Yes, I know
Yay.
Vic loves Dinosaur Island.
Love it.
Yeah, so Dinosaur Island is very methodical in the way it operates. You have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, stage 5. But I like it. I like the way it works. It's easier. It makes it easier to explain. Like here, we're going to do this. Here, we're going to get specialists. Here, we're going to do all this kind of stuff. Yeah, so I've always liked Dinosaur Island. I reviewed it very highly. So did Vic. Vic loves this game. So maybe this is top 10 material. I don't know. But Dinosaur Island is one that we are always going to keep because we had the expansion that made it even better. Totally liquid. Hate saying that. Some people are turned off by the color scheme of just this game. But the gameplay I really like. Dinosaur Island is my number 24.
Good. I love that. I am for that pick. 23 for me is a game Nick has mentioned previously, and it is Lorenzo Il Magnifico with its rare expansion, right? That you had to get the printout for?
No, that's not that rare, but it's just not. No one really talks about it.
Yeah, Lorenzo Il Magnifico, such a fun game. Different towers. You're choosing. Nick's already gone through how you play it, but just so fun. A dry Euro game for sure, but again, very tight game. You're going to spots. Only one person can go to that spot. When we played with 2 players, it's really, this tension of, am I going to go first there? Or is he going to go there? Maybe I have time and I can get some other things done first. And when someone's in a tower, now if you want to go anywhere else on that tower, you're going to pay a fee.
Yeah.
And you don't have that many resources. Very tight on resources, and I love the different objectives that you have this historical significance. So there's different historical actors, and you're going to get different bonuses for them, which are not easy to achieve, but you'll achieve several of these throughout the game, and they'll give you different ongoing bonuses or a one-time bonus. A lot of fun. You can choose to have cards that score you at the end of the game, or you can try to get things that'll help you build resources faster. Just great choices.
Yeah, and it can be a little harsh, like you said, with going to the same palace that somebody else is going to a castle. And it's the same harshness in the cathedral action where you're trying to get enough faith. If you don't get enough faith, some rounds, you get dinged the whole game.
Getting punished by the church.
Yeah. So, like you said, a lot of things to consider in Lorenzo Il Magnifico. Great game. Number 23 doesn't belong this high. It just shouldn't be up this high. It really shouldn't, because I've only played it once.
It's Coloma.
It's Coloma.
Yeah.
Coloma shouldn't be this high. But I love the game so much. Immediately, I don't score a game when I first play it. I get a little idea. Okay, I like this. Yeah, I gave it a 9 right. I played like this game's fantastic. I love the action selection. You could just tell, 23 was Coloma. My eyes lit up. I was like, this game. What is the price? Can I get this game? No, we can't right now.
Yeah,
unless you want to pay a lot.
I was looking it up as we were playing. I started looking it up. I'm like, how do I get this game?
We were head over heels. My favorite cowboy western themed game is Coloma. It's my number 23. The action selection's perfect. I love it. If you're the only one that does that action, you get the benefit of 2 actions there. And if you are met with somebody else, you only get the 1. And it's just a lesser action. Like, dang, you pick the same action as me. There's a little action where you can go fight, do a little standoff thing. And that's cool as hell. It's just cool as hell.
Yeah, I had to move it up because of the fact that I only played it one time. It was so, I felt so strongly about it, but I couldn't.
There's no other game that I've only played once that's even close to this. Nothing. Whereas one that I've only played one time, like I have to go far back. I have no idea.
It was just a lasting impression. We think about it a lot.
I might not have a single game in my top 100 that made that, that just rocketed. Like, oh, I love it. And the only reason I don't have it is because I can't have it.
Yeah, give it to us.
That's my number 23, Colombo.
All right. So, 22 for me is a game previously mentioned by Nick already. He ranked this one further from number 1 than I do. It's called Beyond the Sun.
Okay.
So it's kind of a boring look when you look at the game. It's pretty dry because you're doing this tech tree. It's got a space theme. Nick said he wasn't enthralled by the box. And this was one of 2 games that I bought Nick on a whim without discussing with him, because sometimes I do like really quirky things. And with gift giving, I just generally ask him, I'll just say, what do you want? And then give him what he wants. But this time around, we were watching the Dice Tower with each other, and I was listening to reviews, and I thought the games looked cool. So I saw they were popular, and I went and bought them both for him for Christmas last year. And to my surprise and to my relief, he really liked the games, because I didn't really know how they were going to be, and usually he sort of guides us on what games we're going to end up buying together. But I didn't consult with him. And boom, surprise games for Christmas that he didn't ask for.
Yeah.
And they ended up working out really well. Beyond the Sun, the way that the dice are used, and you turn them around, and they have multi-functions, and you can spin up the spaceship so that they can become more value, so they can travel further away. And we're completing these like colonization, I guess, functions. And then there's the tech tree you're trying to focus on and get to certain bonuses before your opponent. You're making decisions and drafting between 2 different cards on how you want to progress the tech tree. A lot of fun that way. And Nick's already talked a bit about the game, and we have a review on the game as well that you can learn more about it. But I just enjoy space themes, and I like the tech tree in the game.
I'll just add on that any game that adds on something to worker placement, I appreciate. And this game did that. It unlocked different things than a tech tree that you can put your workers, other people cannot until they access that ability.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. All right, number 22. Since Vic's been saying a lot of, this has been further on Nick's list. This is on Nick's list. I have one that was on her list. I find a little bit better, apparently.
Oh, okay.
This is a deduction game, my favorite deduction game ever. It is The Search for Planet X.
Ah.
Yeah, what can I say? It's a puzzle. You're doing your little puzzle here. You need an app. If you don't want to have an app, then don't play the game. If you're very against it, I know a lot of people are very, very against having apps for board games. Not me. I don't care. If it's fun, it's fun. I love The Search for Planet X. I love the puzzle. I love solving things. When I'm playing Mansion of Madness, I want the puzzle. I want to do this puzzle. Give me a minute. Let me figure it out. This way, Vic and I can both do the puzzle. And I think I like puzzle, like that kind of stuff a little bit more, maybe. I like to sit down, try to figure it out. Kind of how I got my line of work, I guess. I like something that is a puzzle, and I want to, be able to solve it. And the Search for Planet X does that. It does it in spades. It's amazing. It's the best social deduction game best deduction game I have ever played. Even better than Cryptid. Cryptid was my number 49, and I love Cryptid. I love it. We just played it recently with your parents, and I love that game. But Search for Planet X, just a little bit better at my number 22.
Yeah, it's a game that really, it is very pretty, but it rewards you in different ways than you're just simply looking for one entity. You're getting different points for figuring out the relationships between different cosmic objects, and just a lot of fun. Enjoy it too. I'm not against app games.
Yes.
All right, so the last one on this list, number 21 for me, is a game that I don't remember if you previously mentioned it.
Okay. I'll tell you.
I think you did. It's Clans of Caledonia. No, you didn't. Okay. No. Ha! Well, anyway, this game we played a lot. We played this game a lot. We played it online during when we have our long distance thing going on. We were able to play that. Is it Tabletop Simulator?
We played it on Simulator, yeah. No, we played on Tabletopia.
Tabletopia.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fun. Nick taught that game to many a folk.
Yeah, taught to some good friends. People we met on the Dice Tower Cruise, Kim and Brian, we taught them. We taught
I feel like
Tim and
George.
Alyssa. Tim and Alyssa, for sure. I'm not sure who taught George. But I feel like there was a weekend where I taught it 3 times.
Yeah, you taught it I know, you were just the Clans of Caledonia
maybe
guy.
some randos too.
Yeah.
Like randoms on Tabletop Simulator, just taught them.
I think you did, yeah. Well, we had a lot of fun playing that game, and I always enjoy the different clan that you can take on in this game. You're placing out objects from your board onto the main area of the board. You're trying to build a consecutive string of things that you have in your Scottish clan empire that you're putting together. But at the same time, you're going to have to make choices about fulfilling market orders, and it's so tight, and you have to start paying for the market orders, and the game is so, you don't have that much money, and you have to make the most of the money you have. Everyone's got their own special abilities through the clans, and it's never a dull moment. Things are always different. You start with different things, you choose that, make that selection at the beginning. And I just love the little sheep and the little cows, and they have little cheese for the fromagerie and the milk, and just adorable little pieces for the game, and really good economic game. I do like me an economic game, and always enjoy Clans of Caledonia with Nick.
Speaking of economics, the economics of that game is like you feel like you have a lot of money, but the inflation in Scotland must have been huge because everything costs a lot of money for board game terms.
Yeah.
It's like the Zimbabwe of board games.
Yeah.
Everything you're paying, like, oh man, a cow is all this money. Like, oh, that's like over a third of my money.
A bread can be like $15 in bread. You're like, didn't someone get their head cut off?
That's a lot in the board game world. Usually that's $1. All right, Clans of Caledonia, good game. All right, my last one for the list, and then we're done. 21 is a dudes on a map game. Beautiful. I love it. Stands out. It's big miniatures.
Lords of Hellas.
Lords of Hellas, number
course.
21. So this is a game you don't want if it's the opposite of Skull Hollow. You don't want it if you're only playing 2-player because it's not that good. It's not tight enough. You're kind of just, moving around, doing stuff. The mechanics are good. Like, it feels like it's going to be good, but then nothing really happens. So it's like you need at least 3. So 3 or 4 players, Lords of Hellas, amazing. I just got an expansion. I'm not sure which one I got, but I love the game so much. Like, yeah, it's on sale. I'll take that. Have it still sealed. I'm curious what it even adds. But it's hard to come by some of those Kickstarter stuff because it was a Kickstarter game I didn't back. So I had to buy it at retail, and then when that Kickstarter stuff starts coming in stock, it's like, oh, yeah, hurry up and get it, otherwise it's gone.
Yeah.
So I got one of the expansions. A great game for 3 to 4 players, in my opinion, where you're triggering off your basic actions, and then you have a board of special actions that you can trigger off one time until you clear them. You build out these big monuments as well. You're triggering off those actions, doing temples out there, priests to go ahead and set with the monuments, which trigger off different abilities, working up traits of your god or whatever your group. I guess your hero. Yeah, you have your hero. You can be all these different. It's a Greek mythology game. The board looks gorgeous. The miniatures are gorgeous. We still haven't painted them, but Vic will get on that eventually because Vic has taken up painting. So she just made me some great paint stuff for different games like Scythe and Godfather. So yeah, Lords of Hellas, great CMON game. So.
All right. So,
No.
Oh,
Is that? It's not CMON. Who did that? That is Awaken Realms. Sorry, Awaken Realms.
Awaken Realms.
I think Big Minis. I think
Yeah.
Suma, but it's an Awaken Realms game. There we go.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for another portion of our top 100/top 50 games of all time. We will be back with our 20 to
11. Yep, 20 to 11 is next
20 to,
video.
I was thinking the whole time you were talking, I'm trying to think of what
What are we on
number.
next?
What is the second number?
20 to 11. So one more video of just us that we're going to do, and then we're going to be joined by Andrew and Sam.
Andrew and Sam for the Big 10.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the subscribe and like button and subscribe. I missed it.
Do that. Do that.
Do the thing.
Bye, guys.
Bye.